Back at Winged Foot as the last act of the United States Open Championship for 1984 begins to unfold. Fuzzy Zoeller with a 3-shot lead over Craig Norman as we go to the 14th tee and Mr. Norman. .418 yards. He pulls that right foot up almost to his left, and that follow-through, doesn't he?
Just in case you don't think you move to your left side. I mean, that would help so many people at home if they'd get off their right side. They wonder why they'd slice it or top it.
Claude Harmon once told me, if you ever see a driver on television, a player do that, the ball will be in the center of the fairway. And that's where it was. This is on videotape. Here is Jim Thorpe. Just took a double bogey to drop him to even par, but he is still thundering off the tee. He gets that one past Norman. Now we're back live. Hale Irwin. A birdie putt here at the par 3 13th. Oh, come on, Hale. Come on. Oh.
We've all had days like this. You don't usually see a player like Hale have such a bad day, but everything he's done. He finally got a putt on line, leaves it short. Hit a good shot the last hole, gets up against the fringe, makes 6. And there's no explaining it. Jones once said he never figured out why he couldn't play well every day. He really didn't understand why he couldn't play well every day.
Biorhythms or something, huh? You know the old story, and I bet the trucks won't be there to take us back to camp either. The parachute that didn't open, huh? Here's Mr. Norman. Well, he's about the only one that has a realistic chance. It just seems that the gods of golf are smiling on Mr. Zoeller today, though.
This ought to be the kind of shot Greg can play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice high shot. Pin in the left of the green.
That looks great. That looks great if it's far enough.
John Schroeder just under the hole. Fine shot.
Right on line.
It just ate it up.
Covered it all the way.
John, have you seen Greg play very much? You've had a chance to watch him. Well, we'll go back.
We're at the 17th, and here's Curtis Strange, who was going for birdie to put him at even par. Is he just around the corner? Now back to Fuzzy Zoeller for birdie of 13.
As I've said so often, when you see a guy move that quickly after he's hit it as Jim Thorpe hits his second shot at 14, you know he's missed that putt.
Well, I'd like to have that man hit all my irons for me, I will tell you.
And your drives, too, Jack. He's a little longer than you are off the tee.
Just a bit, yes.
You putt for him and let him do the rest.
I putt for him, he'd do the rest, we'd win some.
I got to be proud of that, though. He just made that double bogey, steps right up at a good driving hole, drives it down the fairway, and it's a real fine second shot in there.
He's at even par in third place. Look at that determination. He's
well, there's a lot still riding. Whether or not he's in the Masters depends on how, you know, one qualification is how you finish in the Open, whether you have to qualify again next year. And then, of course, there's always money, which can be somewhat important to you.
the final 5 holes are a test.
Oh, and here's a real dive hook. Look out for this one.
It's out of bounds over there, Rossi, isn't there?
Well, he's not out of bounds. It's caught in the real thick grass, but it's not very good. It's not the kind of a place where he's going to do anything but pitch it out, I would think.
I've been there before, Ross.
See how people want to go and see people in trouble? See how fast they run over there?
That's the Christians running over to see.
Oh, let's see how bad it is.
Yeah. Christians and the Lions deal.
Hale Irwin.
Hale's hit it way to the right. Very, very short and just a horrible drive in the long rough, 210 yards from the green.
He really looks tired, Ross. Those are tired swings he's making.
Old fatigue. Here are the alphabetical scores, so pick out your favorite, your local professional, your friend, whatever, and so we'll go right through the alphabet.
That Jim Albus is a professional in the Met area, and he is a very fine golfer. And that's his little boy caddied for him during the tournament.
Uh-huh. The Z is leading, Mr. Zeller.
The last shall be first. Well, if Fuzzy should win, that would make two very popular winners of major championships this year with Crenshaw and then Fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Big putt.
Yep.
Especially with Fuzzy in trouble back there. This could be a big swing here.
Good roll. Good roll. Is it enough? Yes. Oh, my, what a putt. Game is on again.
Game is on.
Wow-wee. 4 under. 2 behind Fuzzy, who may be in trouble. I don't, what would you call them? Norman Stormans? Huh? The gallery here behind Greg Norman. And we've had what might be a rather significant change. However, let's not be too hasty. Fuzzy has been in bad places before today and come out very nicely.
And talk about a man due for a putt up here on this 14th green was Jim Thorpe. And a big putt for him. There's a couple of guys. He's a stroke ahead of Hale and Curtis, who's almost finished there, to be all alone at third place. And this could help that cause quite a bit.
Oh, Jim. That's too bad. But he had plenty of opportunity to fall way back into the pack. He has just refused to do it. All right. Now, here is the problem that confronting, or the position that Fuzzy Zeller is in off the tee at 14. And now let's get a report on it from Bob Rosberg.
The ball is not sitting very well, Jack. He does have a swing at it, but I would seriously doubt if he'd do anything but wedge it out into the fairway. He can wedge it out within about 70 or 80 yards of the green. If he gets it on the right side, he'll have a nice pitch at it. He just came up to me and he said, I've gone to the well once too often, I'm afraid.
Oh-ho. A little doubt in his mind then, huh?
Well, he has driven erratically the last few holes, you know, and he's kind of gotten away with a lot. He's gotten away with a lot all day, to tell you the truth.
Well, Rossi, he knows that Greg made the putt for 3, right?
No, I don't think so. He was not very far off the tee when Greg holed that putt, and I don't think he knows. I really don't believe that that he knows. He didn't give me any indication, or he didn't ask me. I'm not sure that he wants to know. He heard the applause that came from the 14th green, but I don't think he knew who it was for.
Okay. All right, there he is. That's the tunnel through which he'll have to come. And this is another elevated green and trapped very nicely. They pulled that trap that you're looking at now around for the 74 Open.
Well, they lost that big elm that was to the left there, and it was irreplaceable, so they did widen that bunker or lengthen it around the edge of the green.
Well, he hit it a little differently than I thought he would, but now he's got himself the same kind of a pitch, but not from the correct side of the fairway. He's going to have a delicate pitch over the bunker now.
Exactly. Now let's go ahead to Mr. Norman. Taking an iron off the 15th hole here.
This is going to be right in the middle of the fairway, Jack, right at the crest of the hill.
Well, the strategy there, Jack, is just as John said, it's a crest of the hill. If you drive it any farther, you're just going to be shooting from a downhill lie to a green that's up a little bit on you.
Hale Irwin's third shot.
Drove in the rough, must not have had much of a lie.
Oh, poor Hale. It's up on the 14th and 3, and look at that. That tells you the whole story. This is Isao Aoki at the 18th. Here by special invitation. That was for bogey, and he has that left now for double bogey. Which would put him at 9 over.
Yeah, that might be right on the borderline for the exemption for next year, so that you would not have to qualify in some manner, whether through money winnings or performance of some sort.
Fred Couples, who made a slight move earlier in the championship, he got it to even par before dropping back. This will be for par for Fred. All the gallery there waiting for the final fireworks on 18. Well, he was on the borderline and finishes now 72 today, +6.
It's a good score. As Peter said earlier, anything 288 or better, you have played some golf.
Now the shot facing Mr. Zeller.
That's such a good look at it, too, from the player's viewpoint, because that lip of that bunker's a lot higher than you think. Like you pulled it a little.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at it come in.
Pulled it right on line, but no stop.
Okay, that for a bogey. I mean par. Aoki finished +8, which might not give him the exemption. They think 7 might be it.
287, 288. But more important, Fuzz needs that to keep his two-shot lead.
There's the story.
Or if he doesn't make it to keep his two-stroke lead, he needs to get some swing before he gets to 15T. Because if you keep driving it in the rough, and that other man's driving it in the fairway.
It's Curtis Strange, David. Excuse me.
No, it's
he is +1. He's in the middle of the 18th, having driven beautifully.
Very underrated player, Jack. He's a good hitter of the ball, good simple swing.
He had a swing to do very well here, I thought, coming in.
And he has. 1 over.
Yeah.
Any other time, 1 over, and now he could be making up his acceptance speech.
That's right.
All right. Got a twin brother named Alan that played the tour for a while. It's now in the brokerage business.
All right, here's the man doing the chasing. Greg Norman.
David, he's got about 175 yards. He's just an ideal position to fire it right at the flag. I live for him to hit it pretty close.
Well, I love the way he hits it, John. You need a high shot here on this hole. This is one man that can do it.
This looks real good if it's the right length.
Oh, my. He's past the pin, but it was a lovely shot, wasn't it?
Good shot. Well, I know he's not real happy.
Wake up!
But he is on in 2, and he has no idea what this man is going through back at 14. But now see him move. I mean, as soon
right
as
away.
you see a player do that,
It's like watching him go for the tee right away. You know, it was a good tee shot. This way, you know, he felt it had no chance. All right. A few deep breaths now for the first time for Fuzzy. Take a look at Norman in slow motion, David.
Well, I like the way this man plays. Obviously, he's been very impressive. Good at the top. Now, watch that club there go right through, but the club face at the top, or the shaft of the club, I should say, was pointing right at his target as Curtis Strange makes that for 4 and 281. Oh, I'm sorry. That's
Fuzzy for bogey there at the hole behind.
Curtis in my mind. But good swing by Greg Norman.
He looks like he does a little Michael Jackson there with that left foot, doesn't he?
Well, that's not too bad either. He's doing all right.
He keeps on balance. He's making some money.
And he's
leading money winner this year, I think.
And he's only wearing one glove, too.
Well, here's the story. We have now just a one-shot lead by Fuzzy Zoeller over Greg Norman as we get into the final holes here at Winged Foot in the United States Open. Let's take another look at that swing of Norman and watch his foot.
Okay, but at the top of the swing is great position for those of you at home that are trying to get your backswing in position. Now, that club is pointed just where you want it to. Now, if you just look down below at his right foot when he goes through, it's a good lateral move. That's why his foot goes back that way. If he were to be outside and over the ball, the foot would have been the other way, which is the most common error, one of the most common errors that the weekend golfer makes. And, of course, good, solid result. Good finish on balance.
Here's a diagram of the 15th. The only water on the course here is 15, that little creek going across there. As we look down from the blimp. There it is. There's the creek. And then uphill, when you cross the creek onto this very long, and as Peter said yesterday, this green is shaped like an electric light bulb. So we have word that Hale Irwin has bogeyed the 15th to go 2 over. Or the 14th, rather.
Because they're at 15T and Fuzzy with the iron.
That was a little better swing there, David, right in the middle of the fairway.
Well, he, as you know from your experience playing, he needed a good swing.
A little easier with that iron to make a good swing than with a driver. The last 3 holes going back into the wind here are just going to be 3 great holes, and to get 2 of the greatest players in the world playing them, so we really have something going.
And only a shot apart.
It may come down to that. Just who can put that ball in the fairway. They're both very long, and as it stands now, you've got to kind of figure that Greg is swinging better, though he's 1 stroke back at this point.
Downhiller, just touch that. Look at it go. Does it have a chance? Does it have a chance? Oh, what a putt.
If you finish a stroke behind, that might be one of the strokes that you think about. Or maybe the little one he missed at the first hole. Those are the things you got to put out of your mind after tonight. What a good putt.
Curtis Strange at the 18th. Now, if he sinks this, he'll finish even, tied with Jim Thorpe. Speaking of Mr. Thorpe, they pick him up. Another birdie attempt for him. He's had all through the back 9 here, it seems, every hole.
With the exception of 13, he has played just a fine round of golf. Get in there, Jim. Come on. No. But you're putting downhill, and the last thing a player thinks of is they're going to leave it short. Now it's Curtis Strange.
Par at 18. 72nd hole for Curtis Strange. 68 today, +1 for the tournament. Very nicely done.
Great great tournament. 281 around here. It's the lowest ever so far.
Here's Jack Nicklaus at 17 for birdie. He's had a long day. 6 over today. Birdied this yesterday with a magnificent second shot. Come in, come in. I do expect that we'll see him at St. Andrews, though, David, don't you think?
Oh, yes. I hope I always see him at St. Andrews.
Yeah. All right, now we're turning for home. This is the 16th. Dogleg left.
This is a mile down the fairway. I mean, a mile. He nailed that about 285 into the wind, and I mean, just couldn't have it in a better position. Fabulous drive.
Now Fuzzy. Second shot at 15.
Oh, nice shot. Nice shot.
So that's the situation. Fuzzy Zeller with just one shot now from Craig Norman, and we'll be back to Winged Foot in a moment.